War threats from North Korea. U.S. officials say they've seen no significant troop movements indicating actual war preparations in the north, but they aren't ruling out the possibility of a missile launch.
What worries me the most is a miscalculation that could trigger all-out war. Am I overly concerned, or are you concerned about that as well?
Ring the west coast of North and South Korea. Just one little hair trigger, General. And where does this go?
One of North Korea's Musadon missiles has been spotted on the eastern Korean coast, believed to be fueled and ready to launch. It is powerful enough to travel more than 2,000 miles, putting U.S. bases in Okinawa and Guam within its reach.
By and large. And what we're talking about is a model that is really a very bare bones type of missile here. This is called the Musadon. It is
now lashing out against the U.S. and South Korean military exercises, and today's new stiff UN sanctions.
When the world thinks of North Korea, images such as these are conjured up, and we really have reduced North Korea to a story of crazy dictators and nuclear weapons. That's what the world thinks of. If you type in North Korea in Google, these are some of the first images that you'll see. And we as millennials have a unique opportunity to really change this narrative. I think more than any other generation, we understand the importance and the power of narrative. And so we are counting on you guys. We are counting on our generation to change and to redefine the way the world looks at North Korea. It's going to be challenging. There are several obstacles in our way, but they're not impossible. And I want to talk about a few of those challenges. First, the media is obsessed with security issues and the chance of conflict, right? So you have excited commentators who often hype the peninsula as a powder keg just waiting to blow up. But really, in reality, aside from limited provocations, the general picture has been one of stability, and it's been that way for the past 60 years. Number two, the media is obsessed with the Kim family. They treat them as tabloid news. When Kim Jong-il died in December of 2012, Team America was trending on Twitter. Overnight, Kim Jong-un became famous. The world knew who Kim Jong-un was overnight. For weeks, the media was following him, talking about the clothes his wife was wearing, and that was the narrative, and that was the story media had spit out. They weren't asking questions like, what does this mean for the ordinary North Koreans? What does it mean for the people on the ground? How does this impact them? How does this affect them? And thirdly, when the people are portrayed, they are goose-stepping soldiers or loyalists. And again, to reference back to the death of Kim Jong-il, CNN, I remember watching CNN a few nights later, and they were trying to find what are the thoughts of the North Korean people. And so what they ended up doing was taking footage from North Korean state television. And what you saw was images of brainwashed people, people living in the capital, and really had no choice but to show that type of expression. And these are the images that we continue to see. And we would argue that this type of perception has actually, in fact, created this invisible barrier of apathy towards one of the greatest challenges facing humanity today. These types of images, this type of narrative, does not encourage people to want to get involved and to help North Korea. As we heard from Hannah yesterday, the North Korean people are facing one of the greatest challenges in humanity today, right? And then we also heard from our North Korean friends that despite those challenges, grassroots change phenomena and pressures for change is happening. The very people that the system is trying to control is weakening that system. But unfortunately, these stories of change and challenges rarely even get to be a subplot in this global narrative. Rarely do we get to hear about these, especially the changes that were happening. It is absolutely imperative to put the focus back on the North Korean people in order to mobilize a global movement of support. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what you guys in this room have been doing for however long since you've been following us. We've seen the photos. We've seen your efforts on your campuses and across the world. So what should this new narrative look like? A few thoughts on that. First, it should focus on the North Korean people, right? That's what we need to be doing. We need to focus on the people, not the regime, whenever possible. Again, to reference the death of Kim Jong-il. One of the things we did immediately following the news, we went back to our office and we started asking the questions, what do the North Korean people think about this? So we started reaching out to our friends and asking them to provide comments so that we could spread that out to media, hoping that they would run these comments from North Koreans who used to live inside the country, who can comment. And several North Koreans had provided this context. They said, what you're going to see on television is you're going to see a lot of North Koreans inside the country weeping and crying. They have to do that. So being able to get ahead of media, being able to get ahead of the curve, providing real insights from North Koreans and really shining the light on them as much as possible is important. Next, we need to humanize the people. Yesterday, we had a lot of press here. Reuters television was here filming throughout the day, and they actually did an interview with Yeonmi. And at the end of the interview, they came up to our press coordinator and said, that was the best interview I have ever done in my career. And in my head, I was thinking, duh. Their stories are amazing. Yeonmi shared her story and was able to humanize the North Korean people, was able to show the press, was able to show the media that there's so much more than the Kim leadership. There's so much more than a country that threatens the world with its nuclear weapons. And Yeonmi broke down those barriers yesterday by sharing her story with this journalist. And then lastly, we need to focus on the changes happening. You heard this all throughout the day yesterday, right? The North Korean people, they're not victims. That's so important for understand. The North Korean people are active agents of change. They are making progress on this issue, and that's how they should be looked at. That's how they should be seen, not helpless victims. They are facing challenges, and yes, it is tough for them, and they're not always overcoming those challenges. But if we just step back and look at what the North Korean people are accomplishing under one of the world's most oppressive regimes, I think we would be truly inspired to go out to share those stories and inspire more people to get involved. You know, we work closely, directly with the North Korean people. From our office in Seoul, who works with the North Korean population there, we also have our refugee rescue program, and we work with the North Koreans. We learn from the North Koreans. We look at them as the experts. We ask them, what can we do to help? How can we use the resources that we have, the people that we have, the organization that has been built up, not in Torrance, Los Angeles, but around the world, you guys. What can we do to support you? That's our approach. And then we take those insights, we take those thoughts, and we share it with journalists and filmmakers. And our hope is to provide just more content outside of security reporting, and just hoping to get more information out there. And we've been able to influence a lot of articles, whether we've written the articles or have been mentioned the articles or have just lobbied major publications to write differently about North Korea. All of these that you see on screen, we've either been published in, we've written, we've influenced, and we continue to play an active role in changing perception from the top down, from the media level. But I think where the greatest hope is, where the most impact is being made, is from the people like you, the people in this room, who have decided that you're going to help us change this narrative. You're going to be a part of providing a new approach for the world to look at and to see and to want to get involved in. There's no reason why people should not be more enthusiastic, more compelled to be helping North Korea. There's no reason for that. It's an absolutely incredible story. The North Korean people are incredible, and what they're overcoming is absolutely amazing. It's compelling. And you guys are on the front lines, and you know that we make documentaries and we produce online campaigns to get the word out. And again, it's not about awareness. It's not about spreading awareness so people know about North Korea. It's about changing the way people look at North Korea. It's about changing the brand of North Korea. It's about changing the perception so that a broader audience can be reached. Because what that means is more people, more resources, more organizations, more time, more energy is being put into helping accelerate change in North Korea. That's why changing the narrative is crucial. It's not about promotion. It's about providing a new way to look at North Korea. You know, traditionally, about a decade ago, maybe a little bit more, media just came from the top down, right? And that's how we learned about the world. We learned about what a few publications were putting out, a few channels. That's how we learned. But with the rise of social media in the past decade, we've become reporters. We've become journalists. We have become storytellers. We have influence online and off to change the perception, to change the narrative. Reportedly, it's about 50% of breaking news today is being broken on social media. So 50% of us are finding what's happening in the world on social media, which means we have an opportunity to engage with journalists, to comment on what reporters and journalists are saying about issues that impact us, that impact the world. And we also have an opportunity to frame what's happening in our own social media networks, to our own friends, to our own families, to frame it and to hopefully provide context, hopefully provide a new way to look specifically at North Korea. Imagine a time when you're talking to a friend and you start talking about North Korea, and this is the image they think of. This is the image that comes to mind. A pretty little girl with there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of light. It's not grungy, it's not dirty. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to, when people hear North Korea, when people see North Korea, we want them to think very differently. We want them to think about the people. And I think that our friends yesterday did an incredible job explaining the realities, but also the hope. And so our hope is that as you leave here, you will leave inspired and understanding that this new narrative can make a huge impact on the lives of the North Korean people.